Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is your host, JC, Everyday Thoughts. Everyone gather around should be a good one today. Special life coach, motivational speaker, a man of God, a husband, and a brand new father. So congrats, my wife and I. Today's topic is give it a man or a woman relationship benefits without the commitment. Have a special guest with me today. Her name is Lena. So say hey everybody.
Hey.
Yeah. I appreciate her taking her time out of her busy schedule to join me tonight. But we're going to talk about relationship benefits without the commitment. And I'll go first. I feel like it's okay to be authentically you for our relationship, as far as you guys are getting to know each other, getting to know each other. But you do gotta have like boundaries when meeting each other. And a lot of times you do have a lot of men that say, don't try to test drive a woman, or they'll say stuff like that. So you do have to be, don't try to give too much to a man without him committing to you. So what's your thoughts about the situation? You know,
I think it comes down to what works best for you, but it definitely requires a conversation. You need to have clear cut lines and boundaries of what this relationship entails, what you're going to put into it, and what you expect to get out of it, especially without any commitment, because commitment is more than just a piece of paper. Marriage is more than just a piece of paper. And for some people it's everything, for some people it's nothing, and that's okay either way. It just has to be something that works for you and your partner. A lot of times people get into these situations and they don't have these established boundaries, so someone's expecting more than the other is willing to give, and that's usually where the problem comes in.
yeah, most definitely. You gotta be on the same accord, both giving to each other. There's nothing wrong with cooking, cleaning, doing
Hmm.
laundry, etc. Because that could be kind of fun. A good project you guys do together, but it can't just be one sided. And I feel like a lot of times you see a lot of women in situations where they're doing so much, doing 80-20%, and the guy's not really contributing much. So maybe just taking advantage of her. So it's something that you have to be mindful of well too when you're dating. So you have to check the person pulse, meaning you got to see where they're at. Check the temperature. Try to see too hot, too cold, and try to see how they're
Hmm.
responding to you. No, don't just like go by your own action, your own feelings, or hey, I cook breakfast, I cook lunch, dinner, and what are you gonna do for me? I think we're not naturally bonded to each other when I naturally want to be in a relationship together or in a marriage or come in a relationship, then y'all naturally going to commit to each other and both sacrifice for the other half. So you do have to be mindful of that as well too. How much is he putting out, how much
Absolutely.
is he giving out. You have to measure that and try to see if you guys are on the same page and say wavelength.
Well, see, if you have chosen to be in a relationship, then it shouldn't be, I did this for you, so what are you going to do for me? You do for the person because you genuinely care for them and you want to contribute to their well being. If you're doing things in a relationship expecting something in return, then you're not in that relationship for the right reasons. And in turn, that's going to cause problems because even though relationships are give and take, there's no such thing as 50-50. Somebody's always going to be going above and beyond. It's always going to go back and forth, so there's a way to achieve balance, but again, it requires both people firmly knowing who they are and what they want, and that's another conversation in itself because most people don't genuinely know who they are or what they want.
Well, definitely, and it's not like you said. It's not a good idea to tally what you did for your spouse. Oh, I did. Oh, I cook you breakfast, so you cook me lunch or dinner. No,
Hmm.
I mean you do it because you love, you respect, you honor that person, and you do it because
Right.
you want to show your appreciation, or you surprise each other every now and then just because you thinking about them, or you writing notes, or buying them chocolates or flowers, not just because of the holiday, just because special occasion like your birthday, graduation, etc.
Right.
Because of hey, I appreciate you, I value you, and I'm not gonna allow just like a holiday just to loom by for me to think about. Oh, okay, Valentine's Day, let me get you a box of chocolate. Nah, it's like
Hmm.
okay, Valentine's Day, it's a special day. I'm not gonna lie, because you don't come right. If I don't have flowers with my wife, Valentine's Day, I'm in a doghouse. So, but yeah, though those are days that like they're special. I'm not gonna lie, but every other day need to be special just as well too. So you do have to be mindful of that. How is this person treating me? Not just like when we're together, but when we're away from each other. How is he respecting me? How
Exactly.
him, etc. So it's all about give and take. It's all about finding that balance between both parties.
I agree. I agree. And as far as like Valentine's Day and recognition of love days, boyfriend day, girlfriend day, I think all of that is ridiculous. Don't appreciate me on one day of the year.
Yeah,
That's not how this goes. And when you think about it, okay, flowers and chocolate are sold all year round. So you don't need to wait for that one day to do that. And it doesn't even have to be flowers and chocolate. It could be you're at the gas station, you're like, oh, you know what? She really likes Reese's peanut butter cups. Let me pick her up some. Or you know what? You happen to be in Walmart, be like, you know what? I know that he really likes this color. And so here's this nice shirt. Let me just get him this. Hey babe, listen, I know this is your favorite color. Here's a shirt. Just because you thought about them. It's I'm thinking of you. That's more the sentiment of, these little mementos of basically that, thinking of you. You don't need a holiday. And not for nothing, Valentine's Day is so commercialized. It's about nothing but making money. It has nothing to do with celebrating the love you share with someone.
yeah, most definitely.
It's just about spending your money.
Yeah, it is. But like I said, like anniversaries, holidays, birthdays, I mean, those are big deals. But
Yeah.
but to get back to the subject, you got to have your own, brief as far as what you guys both want. If you're feeling like someone's doing a lot more, you're not picking up your weights, then you might need to pick up a 20 pound dumbbell or a 30 pound dumbbell to try to even out the weights. So you do have to be mindful of that as well too. Checking your energy, your pulse, all that good stuff.
hmm Yeah, I think when it comes down to it, every relationship requires open and honest communication. And what I mean by that is you have to be able to say, listen, you know what? I'm not getting what I need from you. This is what I need, and this is what I'm getting. Or you have to be able to also listen when someone says to you, listen, I'm really into you. I love being with you, but this is what I feel is lacking. Don't take it as an attack because it's not. It's an attempt to better your situation for the both of you, not just for the other person. Because if you're happy and you feel secure in your relationship, then you're going to do whatever is necessary to keep that relationship. When you're unhappy and you're not feeling good about your situation, you kind of throw it to the wayside. You don't care what happens. That leads to a very bad place. Nobody wants to be in the we're about to break up stage, you know?
Yeah, most definitely. You don't want to be in that stage. So you have to think you got to honor your spouse or commitment partner. Just try to see, from their point of view, they're giving you feedback. Hey, you can, love on me a lot more. Hey, you can give me your attention. You don't have to be on social media
Mm-hmm.
all the time. You give me 5, 30 minutes of unquiet times when you guys are at dinner, giving her your you're giving her your respect. Meaning you're not on the phone. You're not really checking out the waiter. You're not looking around the restaurant, seeing kind of food and stuff. You kind of focus on the conversation and what you guys are trying to build at that moment. So that's one thing that you just got to work on and just check on periodically. And also
Mm-hmm.
too, saying not by giving to somebody ultimatum. Ultimatum is just about just level of respect. You try to see expectations of you, expectations of them. Try to see if you guys have the similar core values that line up with one another.
Absolutely. And not only that, I think a lot of times people tend to do things that they don't want done to them, but because they're the giver and not the receiver, they don't care until it's literally like blowing up in their face. But at that point, we've already reached a crossroad, and it could go either way.
Yeah, most definitely. It can go either way. Well, all that you can really do every self, you gotta monitor your own self, monitor your own actions, try to see, am I bringing my best self each and every day? You know what I'm saying? If I'm not bringing my best self each and every day, then I can't have anything. If my relationships go south, then I can't blame anybody but myself. And you can't really uh, monitor other people's reactions. You got to monitor your own situation and let people do them. If they don't feel like they
Hmm
want to put the effort into it, they want to put the work into it, then it's not for you. You need to move to a different direction. Don't waste your time. Don't waste the other person's time. Y'all don't feel like y'all on the same record. Y'all don't feel like y'all have the same vision, the same goal, outlook in life. Then it's best just to move on.
I agree, but as a woman, that's not what we're taught. We're taught, oh, you have to love him through his troubled times, not realizing that sometimes it's not just a troubled time. Sometimes he's not ready for a relationship, and it could be the other way around. Men do it too. We get into situations and you develop feelings for someone, and those feelings keep you in a situation to where your needs are not being met, and you're not happy, but you feel like you could be if this person would just get on board with your situation. And a lot of times that comes from people misrepresenting themselves. I always say the first 3 months of a relationship is a lie, because you're putting on to get this person, and once you have them, then your true self starts to show. And sometimes your true self has absolutely nothing to do with who you pretended to be.
Yeah, most definitely. The whole thing about me and my wife, one thing about her is that like when from day one, she was real, she was authentic. Day one, we kind of kicked it. We kind of had a good relationship, good conversation. So day one, met my met my dad. Possibly Lincoln like on Father's Day that year. I met her dad. She met my mom. So everything was just so in sync very quickly. And I'm thinking to myself like, well, what's going on? Why are we connecting like this? This ain't supposed to happen. I know something bad is going to happen 3, 4 months from now. But honestly, it really happened like that. We just been smooth sailing ever since. And like I said, we have Olivia now, and we just been, pretty good right now. Just trying to focus, one day at a time, trying to see how we can, better love each other. So that's that.
Well, that's awesome, and I'm happy for you. I'm glad that you found your one.
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome. I love a good love story.
Yeah, but
And
like I said, I mean, my, but like I said, everybody's story is different. I mean, so that's what I'm saying. That might be my story, but someone else's story may be, hey, we were crashing at it, we were going back and forth, arguing with one another, but then we came at peace a year from us meeting each other. So everyone's story is different. And it's okay. Everybody grow, learn, develop differently on two different paths. So nothing wrong with that. But like I
but see,
said,
that's where the commitment part comes in.
yeah,
That's why I don't feel, there's no point in dating someone exclusively if there's no real commitment, because all you're doing is blocking your own blessing. There might be somebody out there who's ready to take on the world and build an empire with you. Meanwhile, you playing with somebody who doesn't know what they want, but they know they like you for the meantime. That's not okay. It's not okay to play with people's emotions, play with people's feelings, if you're not really working towards something. I personally feel like dating has to have a purpose. If your purpose is just to socialize, have fun, that's cool. That's great. But be upfront with that. If your purpose is to build a relationship that's going to turn into a marriage, then that needs to be stipulated too. And then everybody knows how to play the situation, but you can't just throw people in and just feel like they're on the same page as you. I met this one guy, and I kid you not, on our third date, he proposed.
yeah,
And I'm like, what's my last name? You don't know? Yeah, no. No. Like, he was cool, don't get me wrong,
yeah,
but he was in a situation to where he felt like this is what he wanted to do, and he wanted to do it with me because of the type of woman I am.
yeah,
You understand? I was bringing something to the table that he didn't have. Well, come to find out, I was bringing everything to the table that he didn't have, because he didn't have shit. Excuse my language, I'm sorry. But he
good.
didn't have anything, you know? And yeah, he was cool and everything, but that doesn't work for me. So when I said to him, okay, listen, well, explain to me, what is a marriage to you? What are you willing to put into your marriage, and what do you feel you should be getting out of your marriage? He could not answer those questions. Then you're not ready to be married, sir. Least of all to me.
Yeah, I mean, y'all just not for each other. Doesn't mean he's a bad guy. Doesn't mean he's not the right
Oh
situation.
no, no, he was cool. He was
Yeah,
cool. He just, I feel like with that situation, he kind of saw an opportunity, But yeah, listen, I'm a lot of things. Desperate is not one of them.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, you see a lot of guys they try to. I mean, just because you guys get married, you guys engagement doesn't mean it's going to work itself out either way. But what I'm saying? A lot of people they try to down try to down women. Oh, you're giving him wife benefits without the ring or the title. Like, why are you doing
Right.
that? So, I mean, like I said, just because you're a dean wife doesn't mean and you have a ring doesn't mean that he's going to be faithful, be treat you right, emotionally there for you, mentally, physically there for you. It doesn't mean all that. It just means
Absolutely.
you guys went to the altar, y'all went to the courthouse, y'all got your paper, you got your paper signed, but unless he's committed, unless he's really into marriage, into you, into family, into building, then it's all for nothing. It's just all for your show. So
Absolutely.
to get do we have to get a man who honor his vows, honor his wife vows, and is death do y'all part. So that's one thing that you gotta be mindful of. These vows are serious. God, nobody to play with. So,
Hmm.
the
You
time,
both definitely have to agree on what marriage means to you,
and that's
because some people are very dismissive with it. Like, oh, if it doesn't work out, we'll just get a divorce. Mm-mm. No, sir. I'm worse than the Bloods and the Crips. There's only one way out of a marriage with me, and it's not divorce.
yeah, like that's why I say you gotta know your core value because we would say, okay, marriage is like, okay, I'm the man, I'm gonna work, pay all the bills, you're gonna be at home, barefoot and pregnant. So you do see that, or some woman is like, okay, man, my marriage is like, hey, we both work, both take care of the household, we both have kids, we both help raise them. I mean, everybody's definition of marriage is different, but it all
Hmm.
depends on what you want, and are you guys aligned, or you guys on the same page? That's all it is. Because everybody's marriage is going to look different. No marriage is going to look the same. So you do have to, just be mindful of whatever when you guys do say I do, you got to commit. Because do y'all want the same thing, same outlooks as far as kids, kids. Some people they want to get married, they don't want to have any kids. They've already had
Hmm.
kids, they've already had their fun. Some people they just want to date, they've already been married, been divorced. Like, hey, we're just gonna date, have fun. That's what we're gonna do. But it's all about individual. Is that understanding what you're about, your motives, your core values, and trying to see what works for you. Because each individual is different. Each individual brings different elements to the other person that you got to be mindful of.
I definitely agree, and that's why I said I feel like dating, the getting to know you process, that's all great. But when it comes down to being exclusive and getting into a monogamous relationship, it requires a conversation. You need to know exactly what you're getting into, especially nowadays, because there's so many different variables within the dating community. And you might be into something I'm not into, things like that. So it's like, if I tell you, okay, listen, this is who I am, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I need from you, and this is what I'm willing to do to meet your needs, and you can do the same for me, then we can find some type of common ground. So that way, when it comes down to a situation comes up, listen, we spoke about this, you know how I feel about it, I know how you feel about it. So now the question is, how are we going to react to this together? You
Yeah,
know,
most definitely. Got to be on the same accord. Got to be on the same accord. Got to be on the same alignment. I mean, you can't want something one way. He wants something differently. Then you guys are on the
mhm.
same page, and not going 9 times 10 may not work stuff out, and that's okay. You know.
The thing is, for the most part, you start off a relationship, and it feels like you're not only on the same page, but you're on the same word of the same sentence in the same paragraph. Sometimes, in the course of the relationship, you might find that, you're not on the same sentence. You might not even be in the same paragraph. But as long as you're still on the same page of the same book, you can always bring it back to that place. You can always get to that, but it requires that open and honest communication. Open mind, open heart. That's the way I see it.
Most definitely. Do you have anything else to add before we end this conversation?
No, just I feel everybody needs to have an open conversation about what your relationship entails and what it looks like to you. And once you agree, you can decide whether you want to do the monogamous thing or not.
Okay. Yeah, that's true though. Like I said, you got to know you're on the same common ground, same core values as far as what you guys are line to go to, direction. So I do appreciate you joining me tonight, and I
No
appreciate you.
problem.
Appreciate your time. And like I said,
Thank
anybody
you.
that want to talk, discuss any kind of relationship, I mean, I'm all for it. So I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you later, and I will see
Cool.
you guys later. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel, to the video. Until next time, out. JC, Everyday Thoughts.
All right. Have a good night.